Video games, we play them, we love them, some a bit too much.
For the past 20 years, Tim's life has been consumed by Pac-Man.
There's the pile of video games that has been called great by the public and praised them for their beautiful ideas and immaculate execution. Then we have games that are hated by the masses, buried in the Mexican desert, spitted on, stepped on. Underneath that pile though, there are games that really hasn't gotten the hate it deserved. Games that are hated, but deep inside, this game had a heart. A heart! There's something special about the game. Whether the intention was for getting that bag, or just cause the developers were actually passionate about the game, and actually wanted to make something special. These games I'll be going over has these elements. Bad, but something that makes it different. Games that had charm despite how terrible it was. Games that weren't afraid to experiment and break out its shell. These games are misunderstood. Alright, let's get to it. You can't tell me this intro isn't the hardest intro of any video game you have ever seen. This intro clearly shows the systematic racism in America. You see these aliens coming in? Do you know what that hole represents? That's literally the Mexican. Anyway, this game clearly had something going on with it. With the intro unironically actually looking good, even in today's standards. This game was received horribly because of the clunky gameplay and weird ass dialogue.
Where's that damn fourth Chaos Emerald?
And ultimately, not a very engaging story. The game really tried to be the more edgy version of Sonic and appealing to an older audience, but it didn't go very well. However, the game though really wasn't afraid to break out its shell. Shadow using all sorts of different guns, and you have 10 possible endings. You have to play this game 10 times to unlock the true ending, which was, you know, it was a different approach. But let's be honest, ain't nobody going through all that, man. You know, at the end of the day, the game tried to be different, and that's a good thing. The soundtrack of this game too. Can you see all of me? But seriously though, that intro though, I bet guarantee that 80% of the budget went on that S tier. By the way, I'm not doing a tier list, but it is an S tier. Anyway, next game. The Saints Row series, man. This series had so much potential before they rebooted it and turned it into poopy doopy. If you take a look at the older games like Saints Row 2, I know, clearly a GTA copy, but it still had its unique charm and different mechanics. Saints Row 3 is where they went apeshit, which is good. I like that. I appreciate that. But then, I've seen people on the internet talking about oh, it's unrealistic. Saints Row 3 is more realistic than my life.
My life, my rules.
The game didn't receive the best impressions from the fans, since it was an insane jump from kind of like GTA to it had some good characters, entertaining missions, and overall just pure fun gameplay. The city can be empty at times, but man, this was fun, yo. Saints Row 3 clearly tried to be its own thing rather than being a GTA clone. They experimented with a lot of things, which you can appreciate. And then they made Saints Row 4. That's where it's too much experimenting. What the fuck is this? Why did they do this? Why did
you need me to ravage you?
Maybe.
Don't worry, I'm fully equipped to pleasure you.
Damn! Hey, never mind though. This game actually goes hard. After they made the third game, in my opinion, this is where the Saints Row series went down the poopy drain. They made another game, went to shit. Another game, and then that went to shit. Don't even get me started on the reboot, bro. This reboot literally killed an entire company. I don't even feel bad, dude. They did that shit to themselves. It's a shame where the Saints Row series could have gone. But yeah, just misunderstood, bro. Misunderstood video games. Hey, that's where we're at, though. Hey, let's get it. Next game! For the next game, this quote. needs to be heard. Game. If the game is delayed, then it's good. But if it's not bad, said bye. The guy from Rush Hour, Assassin's Creed Unity. Remember that game? This game was the only Assassin's Creed game with a co-op campaign. It was received pretty bad, but you can't say that being an assassin with your homies wasn't the most coolest potential co-op assassin game that could have ever happened. The game could have actually been good if they fixed the glitches and let you play more than just certain campaign missions with co-op, which sucked so bad. And even if you played the co-op missions, they were so bad. Besides its flaws, Unity had a lot of good things. Graphics looking good for its time. The architecture and depiction of France looks good and accurate. And there's riots and this shit happening in the game. It's actually insane they predicted France 2023. This would be the world if it wasn't rushed. Game had potential, had some big plans, but it really had to use that Ubisoft secret ingredient to mess it all up.
Guys?
This next game actually came in with some good reviews, but is disliked by the core fan base, similar fashion how Sancho is. I even gotta admit, this game was intended for the SCP prisoners. Resident Evil 5. I know, this game wasn't bad for its time, back when the Call of Duties
You have Uno, you fucking dick!
and the Battlefields was at its prime.
Oh wow, look at this burger. This is like the most detailed burger you'll ever see.
If you play this nowadays, shit is torture, bro. Vague descriptions on where you have to go, clunky controls, boring level design, some of the enemies will never fucking die. This game is terrible. Unless you play with a homie. This game had a co-op option, which changed the game dramatically. You know, one of those games that sucks so much balls when you play it alone, but playing with a homie, you aren't suffering alone. You are suffering together. Our suffering. I played with my boy Alen, which at that time was in vacation in Bosnia, and was playing on his Chernobyl powered PC, which could barely run any fucking game. It couldn't even run Argario, which is literally just cells on screen. When his PC weren't shitting himself, we were actually having a blast. Slaying zombies, cool sequences that were happening in the game, etc. However, when the radioactive chemicals in his PC runs out, his whole shit crashes. And when his whole shit crashes, we have to start the whole flippin' mission again. And the mission can take up to like an hour or even longer, cause how hard it is to see where the fuck to go. So yeah, that happened a lot, which could be our fault, but you know, let's forget about that. There's also this one boss which straight up wouldn't fucking die. No matter how much we shot at this motherfucker, he just wouldn't die, to the point where we used all of our ammo, so we just had to kill ourselves to try again. Apparently, this is a common issue in this game, but there was one solution to beat this boss. You needed the RPG. The problem was, the RPG wasn't cheap. You know what we did? I grew some fat nuts, sold everything I had in the game till I had 0 items in my inventory, and bought that fucking RPG. I took this one for the team. We told ourselves, if this bazooka isn't gonna kill this thing, it's over. We had one shot. We got down there. I aimed at the great mighty poo looking ass, and bam, died one shot, baby. This feeling was different. This might not sound pleasing to you, and we didn't think so at the time, but looking back at it, the game had a sense of rawness to it. The fact that we had to sacrifice some things because of this stupid glitch, but it still killed that motherfucker, it was different. Other memories, like we lost a lantern, for example, in a cave, and we had to go through the cave in darkness while there was monsters chasing us. It was raw, man. No help, no guide, just us and the glitchy game. This game might not have been a true Resident Evil game, but it was different. Anyway, what's your input, Alen?
God! No ne kaže se God, nego Allah, dragi! I ti meni pričaš engleski, moj engleski ti je ženo da znaš otići na...
Okay, this next game is an obscure one, and you probably haven't heard of it, but if you grew up with a PlayStation 3 with the ability to play online, you might have played it. It came for free for every single console. PlayStation Home. This game was Second Life without the furries and neat motherfuckers. I bet everybody who played this game are engineers, doctors, or like me. PlayStation Home was this social platform similar to Second Life or VR chat, but everything is just PlayStation themed. You could customize your own little house, invite your homies over, explore the different world there is. You could play those cute mini games they provided. Not gonna lie, it was pretty limiting, but for its time, I felt like I was living in a different life. The potential for this was crazy with the easy accessibility, and it just came with your console like that. The game lasted like 7 years, so it wasn't too bad, but damn man, imagine the potential if they just kept growing. There's a community right now as we speak trying to rebuild this, which is wholesome and cute and nice, but it'll never be the same. Look at me, bro. Me listing all these games. I might as well be the angry video game nerd. He's gonna take you back. I'm over here being nostalgia critic. Bro, I'm literally the game dude. Here's the game dude. Okay, never mind. I'm not the game dude. Okay, I'm literally JonTron. Dude.
Blacks also commit more crime than poor whites.
I'm not. No, I'm not. This next game comes from a special place in my heart. Back when I was a little brown baby boy, there was this Danish mascot. He was called Hugo. This ugly ass troll. I hated him every time he popped on the TV ads. I wasn't allowed to play games like the GTAs or really any violent game. One day, my parents bought me this game called Agent Hugo. And they said, Yusuf, this Hugo game is exactly like GTA. I booted up the game, and the first thing I see is this ugly egg-shaped looking motherfucker. Bro, that ain't CJ. Agent Hugo is this open world game, but instead of cars like GTA, it's boats. And instead of CJ, it's this. And instead of drive-by shootings, it's this. When I was a kid though, this is what I could handle. Hugo was fun. At its time, when the characters in this game interact with each other, in my head, it looks like a Pixar beautiful animation. Looking now, it looks like this.
Boss, we'll make carpaccio out of him, yeah?
It was lazy lip syncing, the animation, it all looks so trash. Back as a kid though, I loved every second of it. I was blinded by a lot of things as a baby dude. Speaking of being blinded, I recently replayed the game and I noticed something. Agent Hugo had these sneak missions, right? We had to sneak into the evil corporation's base or whatever, where Hugo could choose a various selection of costumes to confuse the guards, right? Now, one of those costumes is a little questionable. Bro went from Dr. Phil to Steve Harvey. What the hell is this, man? Not only does he look like the stereotype with the afro, the sneakers, his abilities are the stereotypes too. He runs faster than all the other costumes. He speaks like it.
Looks like it's been painted on. Yeah, man, I like this suit. Watch out, Daddy Hugo is in the house.
Family Guy, my nigga, this is a new Family Guy on DVD. I'm about to cop this shit on Shopify.
Honestly though, this is the least racist Danish game, but damn man. I know, why does this deserve to be on the list? Well, honestly, this is more a personal reason. This game made me feel happy, man. Huge part of my childhood was playing this game and bragging and coping to my friends that this is exactly like GTA. I even called it GTA Hugo because I thought the game went that hard. So I see this game as misunderstood. Label that shit. Wowee. That was basically the main games I wanted to talk about. Looking back at this, the word misunderstood is very vague, and you could definitely tell by the video. There's still some games I want out of my system, so we're going honorable mentions, Watch Mojo style. We speedrun it because I really gotta go to the bathroom. Sonic 06. I know. Why am I putting this here? This game is not even misunderstood. It's bad. Well, listen, bro. If they fix the glitches, load times, and the NPCs looking ugly, this game would be good. A fan project called Project 06 proved that. They fixed everything and the game is good. The core game is still there, but it only fixed the technical issues. Next game, Hong Kong 97. Game in the 90s, made for the Super Nintendo, and it was not good. It was made as a joke, and it has some very questionable dialogue, but because the game was meant to be bad, it definitely achieves that. Cause it's funny. Okay, that's it, I think. In conclusion, gang, this was my list. If you disagree with any of it, you should love yourself. If you've watched the video all the way through, then actually love yourself. Thanks to my racist friend Alen for helping me write the script for the video. If you're new here, subscribe, all that boo boo. And yeah, hey, expect more videos. Bye bye. Mwah.